Very well, thank you, President King. We'll start with Audit LA, followed by Yvonne. Audit LA, you have 60 seconds.
Thank you and good morning. I want to say that if you're a consenting adult, you can join a cult. You can agree to sign a billion-year contract to make $47 a week for 100 hours of labor and to subject yourself to all kinds of abuses. Children cannot consent, and sadly, children are often find themselves in this state as well. But what they can't do is to do that on public streets. Okay, they cannot work on the public street. They cannot work the city events. The city has said that there's no religious exemptions, yet we keep giving them religious exemptions, even though it's against the law, by letting them work on their R permits, letting them work on our streets. When they have their special event permits, it is illegal. And all it does is help people who likely thought they were volunteering for a great thing and find themselves now extremely abused and not knowing how to get out of it, because you cannot just walk away easily from the brainwashing. And
Thank you, that's 60 seconds. We'll move next to Yvonne, followed by Laura. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'd like to recommend that the board revoke the revocable permit issued to Scientology. Once again, they held an event without a permit, closing effectively on Hubbard Way for 4 to 5 hours. This time they utilized the opportunity to abuse their R permit for the shooting of a propaganda film entitled probably something like Summer of Source. It is intended to be a sale of materials, and therefore it's commercial purposes. They did not have a filming permit. They are running the street, they're running the city as if they are the supreme being in this city. Please revoke their permit. Thank you.
And we'll move next to Laura FM, followed by Gigi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, you have 60 seconds.
Thank you. Hi, so I've called in multiple times. I'm the one I was born and raised in Scientology, and we're trying to get the permit revoked for L. Ron Hubbard Way. Obviously, we've been calling, and I've met with Mr. Kang, and I really appreciate that. I just wanted to make a personal note to public comment. Is a few days ago, I saw my dad again, and I yelled out for him. And I yelled out for him, and he just turned away and he walked away. This time he said something, I didn't fully hear it, but I yelled out for him. So we really want you to know that somebody like my father, who only is getting $47 a week, I was born and raised in this. So this was a child also doing this forced labor on public streets in the city under the city's permits. Please, please, please pay attention. $47 a week for a father rejecting her daughter on L. Ron Hubbard while you're giving these permits to Scientology for these fake PR recruitment events. They're all recruitment events.
And that's 60 seconds, thank you. We'll move next to Gigi, followed by Jill. Go ahead, Gigi.
Hi. So I'm going to speak on the same thing, L. Ron Hubbard Way. I am hoping that sometime in the near future, you guys can rip those bricks out of that road that were laid by, in part by slave labor and child labor. I want you to rip those bricks up and put metered parking. And while you're at it, I want you guys to change the name back to Berendo or come up with a new name, but get that felon's name off of that road. He was a very bad man. There should not be a road named after him. If you look into him, he was a felon, not just the whole he started Scientology thing. He was a felon. There shouldn't be a road named after a felon. And also free Phil Anderson. Thank you.
And we'll move next to Jill, followed by Georgina.
Hi, everything I'm going to say is reiterating what everybody has said prior to me. You have a slave labor situation and you need to revoke the permits. Also, the children, Audit LA talked about the children. Are they in school? aren't you checking to see if people that are doing this stuff are in school? They have a right to an education. I thought California cared about education of children. California and LA need to put their money where their mouth is and worry about children that are enslaved in cults. This is absolutely disgusting. And if they want to leave, they do not have any skills in the real world. Shame on the city for allowing this to happen. Shame on abuse of children. Look at the case of Emmanuel Ardo in San Bernardino County and the abuse that family has done to these kids. The same kind of stuff is probably going on in the walls
Thank you.
of the cult. Bye.
And Georgine, I do see your hand raised. Would you like to offer public commentary this morning?
Yes, please.
Go ahead. If you're prepared to offer commentary, you have 60 seconds.
Thank you so much. I'm calling in about the event permits, but mainly the street rights permit for L. Ron Hubbard Way. I don't know why we have a street named after a serial felony convicted felon, and he has been found guilty, or Scientology has been found guilty of slave labor and child trafficking, human trafficking, and yet we allow them to have a permit where they close off a street that traps people in that are trying to get out. People like Phil Anderson. I call in for people like Laura Anderson and Phil Anderson to see the suffering that these people go to. When she says Phil Anderson works there for $47 a week, he works 16-hour days, 6 days a week. Sunday, oh, he gets half a day off. So it's only 8 hours on Sunday. Isn't he lucky? Please do better. Thank you. I yield back my time.
Thank you. President King, that concludes public commentary this morning.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the general public comment portion of today's meeting and move on to the multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during the multiple agenda item public comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you will speak on when you are called. We do not have any in person, so we will transition to our virtual platform.
Thank you, President King. And we have one multiple agenda item commenter, Audit LA. Audit LA, please identify which item you're speaking on. Go ahead.
Right now, I'm going to minutes, but then I want to deal with the others. Okay, when it comes to the minutes, I know that the Brown Act there's not a whole lot of guidance for how to do the minutes. But I am asking if you guys, because there's other organizations that are bound by Brown Act here in the city that do better with the minutes. Okay, they let you know who came, what was basically being said. And even if you don't want to put the names, or anything, but I would love to see a historical recording of what is going on. Like today, okay, we have Laura who came here and told you that she personally was enslaved, okay, with this cult, and that her father is still enslaved and basically not allowed to interact with her, not allowed to say, hey, daughter, not allowed to do anything because that could get, because he fears what could happen to him if he does. And that's not being reflected. That's serious because the reason why it's serious, like that in its own, you may say, well, what does that have to do with public works? Well, it has to do with public works because you keep giving them special event permits and you're allowing them to continue with their R permit, even though her father, Phil Anderson, is working possibly on these events because what he does, he works, in the kitchen area, and that can, deal with the public events, and so it's slave labor. It's and these people, they're trapped. I'm not, if there's somebody that wants to be there, that's one thing, but there's a lot of people that don't want to be there, but they can't just easily escape. It's such a confusing, it's such a big situation that and the fact that we've been coming for over a year now telling about it, and it's just not one mention in your minutes to reflect that there is a community coming together and speaking about this. And when it comes to the other agenda items, when it comes to bids, I notice that they are they always come in low bids. The bids, so many times they need more money. So I'm just hoping that you guys are really evaluating the bids that come in and make sure that they're going to stay on point. There needs to be some kind of enforcement, some kind of pressure to make sure they're not just giving you any number to get the bid and then they have to come back and get more money. And same thing with I see like the money, the request, it's always going up. Budgets, you have several for budgets. The budgets always go up. I mean, how often? I would love to see how often the budget goes down because I've never seen where the budget. Okay, oh, we can give up some of the budget. And how many times do people come under budget and the money needs to be returned as
That's
opposed
3
to them
minutes. Thank you.
saying